Hi there. Have you ever had your child complete a handwriting workbook? Could have been one that you got so that they could have extra practice at home. It could have been one that they had from school. Sometimes it's even one we had from school for a few years ago that we said, let's pull that back out and see if we can help little Johnny or little Mary improve their handwriting. And it quite didn't turn out the way you expected. You didn't see an improvement in the handwriting, but you did see that the workbook got completed. What's going on, right? So we're going to go ahead and talk about the 3 things that you actually need to have to increase and improve your child's handwriting legibility and why the workbook is not really included in one of those 3 things. I'm Nicole Santa Maria. I'm a pediatric occupational therapist for over 20 years. I'm the founder of Miami Handwriting, and we're going to get right into the 3 things. So, number 1, to either, and this can happen if we have little ones that are learning to write for the first time. A lot of times it happens that we see that our kids are struggling with writing and we want to give them a little extra support, and that's when we pull in the workbook. Well, one of the things that we actually must include when we're trying to improve our child's handwriting is explicit, specific instructions. So usually a workbook will give them an opportunity to trace. It may have a little sentence about how to make the letter. It will let them copy the letter, right? Versus input from us that's explicit would look like, we're going to start the letter here. We're going to stop the letter here. We're going to make a small line from the top to the bottom. We're going to make a small curve, then go straight up, then back down. Those are explicit instructions. We are telling the child exactly what to do to make that letter. So that's very different than just copying it from a workbook, where they're only getting that visual feedback. Numero dos, multisensory experiences. So what does this look like? I'll tell you what it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like a lot of pencil and paper. It doesn't look like a lot of writing, right? Because if we are trying to change the way they learn, we're trying to teach them how to do something new, we want them to experience. And the best way we want them to experience it is multisensory. So real quick, you'll know it's multisensory probably if it doesn't include a pen and a paper. That's your first clue. You want to involve different voices. They can sing about the letter, the way they make the letters. Give them different sizes. You know, if they're doing blocks and they're doing, okay, all the small letters are this size, all the blocks are this letter. Spell out the letters using blocks. Using sand to write the letters in. Writing them outside on the wall with chalk. Writing them on the floor with chalk. So you really want to get those big motor movements involved, and you really want to stay away from pencil and paper. And the last thing, which number 3 only works, is if we have 1 and 2. So number 3 is repetition. Repetition is very important. Repetition is what's going to help them relearn, right? Because some of our kids are relearning, because if they have illegible handwriting, we want them to relearn how to write correctly so that they can read their own writing. Is by repeating it, right? We've got it, they learned it, they multisensory experienced it, and now we want them to practice it the correct way. So if we don't have number 1, they don't have explicit instructions, and number 2, that they didn't experience it and feel it, repetition might not be enough, right? Because a lot of times that's what happens in the workbooks. They repeat, but the child maybe formed the letter the wrong way. The child maybe had too many steps to make the letter. Right? The child didn't really know the letter, didn't have the visual memory to write the letter, but he just copied it from the book. So the repetition wasn't as strong. It was either wrong or it wasn't as strong because he didn't really know the letter. So quick review. 3 things you must include to improve your child's handwriting is number 1, explicit, specific instructions. Number 2, multisensory experiences. And number 3, once you have number 1 and once you have number 2, repetition, repetition, repetition. In number 3 is where you can use a workbook, right? Once they know it, once they've felt it, once they've had a lot of practice with it, let's use the workbook as one of the ways we get them to practice. But don't replace them with the workbook. If you want to watch more videos like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below, and that way you'll be reminded whenever a new video comes out.